Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Christy and I have been a carnivore for about a year and a half now. But this video isn't about me. Today I'm going to talk about my son who went carnivore back in February because of his ADHD, and I'm going to give you his 9-month update. So to hear the full backstory of my son's symptoms and everything we've tried, I highly recommend you go and watch maybe my 6-month update video. I've also done a few other videos where I went into that in detail. But in the interest of keeping this video a little bit shorter, as I've gotten that feedback from some of you, I'm just going to jump into maybe what's new. So he went carnivore in February and he's been really good with that, with no missteps in this way of eating. We have seen numerous improvements, and today I'm really going to focus on social improvements. So my son has never been really super social. That's not to say when he's at school and things like that that he's antisocial, but when he has free time, he generally much prefers to be alone, to be in his room, to just be doing some gaming or things like that. And when we go to family parties in the past, he would just kind of put on his headphones, find a rocking chair somewhere and sit there and not engage with others. So we have seen a glimmer of hope with that at family get-togethers. So recently, a few things. We went to my in-laws' house and he engaged in the conversation. And I'm going to go through this briefly because I've talked about this in a previous video, but that was like the first sign that his social integration, I guess, with others has been improving. But I would also say that he doesn't really hang out with friends usually outside of school until more recently. So within the past 2 to 3 weeks, he's done 3 social things. And I would say usually it's like one social thing every few months, and he's done 3 within the past 2 to 3 weeks. The first was he invited a friend over and they hung out over here for about 5 hours and just did what they like to do. So I don't know, they were talking, they were playing video games together, things like that. And then the next thing that I noticed was one day he said, "Oh, hey mom, homecoming's tomorrow." Yeah, very ADHD, right? Homecoming's tomorrow at the dance, and I would like to go. And I was like, wow, he generally doesn't want to go to those type of school functions. When he does his band stuff, like there's a football game, he does that because it's part of the band and he gets to play his drum, but he wouldn't, I don't think, attend any of the football games were he not involved in that activity of being in the band. And so the fact that he said he wanted to go to homecoming was really cool. Of course, it was way too late to get him any new clothes, but the good news is he really doesn't care about that at all. So he just washed his nicest clothes that he has, put them on and went to homecoming, and he stayed the whole time. So there was no texting like, I want to leave early, I want to come home. There was none of that. When I asked him about it the next day, he totally said that it was a good time. He hung out with several friends, and then he kind of made the joke, even though I didn't dance. So it was a fun dance, even though he didn't dance. He enjoyed it. So I'll keep you guys posted. Obviously, there's more dances, throughout the year. And homecoming is just one of the first ones. So we'll see if he chooses to go to any of those. If so, that'll be unprecedented. He's never attended 2 school dances in the same year. So we'll see. Okay. And the final thing actually just was yesterday. And you could tell he was excited about this one because he told me about it like probably a week and a half in advance. So a friend of his from school is having her 16th birthday party. It was yesterday, but like a week and a half ago, he shared with me the invitation and said that he would like to go. And so I thought that was super cool. And he investigated the food. They were serving tacos from a taco truck. And he asked me, without me telling him anything, he asked me what a taco truck might have that he could eat on his carnivore diet. So I told him, there's probably shredded meats, right? There's probably shredded beef, chicken, pork, and then some cheese and some sour cream, although he's not a big sour cream fan. But I told him those were the things he could eat off that taco truck. And so, he thought about it, and the big day came yesterday. He decided to have an extra big breakfast. He had 4 eggs. Usually he has 2 or 3. He's never asked me for 4, but he asked me for 4 eggs with sausage and butter and some whole milk. So he had that. And then right before he left for the party, I had baked up some chicken thighs, and I think he was still a little full for breakfast, but he's like, just give me one of those. So he ate a chicken thigh, and he did what I do, which is go to the party not hungry. He ended up staying an extra hour. So the party was like 5 p.m. until question mark. And I told him that someone would be available to pick him up at 9:30 from that party. But I noticed that, my older son, who's almost 19, was the one to go pick him up. And they didn't get home till around 10:30 last night. So I was assuming maybe about 9:30 he would be done for the night. And I said, your brother's busy, but he'll definitely be able to get you at 9:30. Turns out he didn't come home until 10:30. So that was super awesome that, he was invited by someone else to a birthday party with lots of teenagers, lots of fun Halloween themed things and a DJ and all this kind of cool stuff. And he wanted to go, and he went, and he stayed for over 5 hours. So all of these social improvements have been amazing. And then the other thing is just when we go out to restaurants with family, like we're going to go today for breakfast, actually for a belated birthday breakfast, family breakfast for me. And I can pretty much guarantee you that because I've now noticed this, is that he'll sit at the table at the restaurant and kind of have a conversation with the other people at the table instead of just kind of getting on his phone, going into his phone and just sitting there. So like at his own birthday meal, we went out to a restaurant. We went to Buffalo Wild Wings. It was super fun. The whole family was there, and some extended family as well. And he sat around the table, talking with everyone and engaging with everyone. And I've noticed that several times as we've gone to restaurants for family functions and things, that he is much more engaged with the people around him. So I think that this improvement, it's definitely happened since going carnivore, where he's more engaged with other people. That's not to say that he doesn't still enjoy being alone in his room. I'm the same way. I think he's kind of an introvert like me, like his mom. But that's not to say that we don't enjoy being around other people. And the carnivore diet did the same thing for me, where I didn't want to spend time with others. I would really shy away from that. But now I can look forward to those times and then still look forward to my times alone. So I see that with him as well. I'm excited for him. I hope that opens up some more, social things and some friendships for him as he goes into adulthood. During this 9-month time on carnivore, he's gone from 15 to 16 years old. I'm used to feel a little nervous about him starting to drive, but now I think his brain is a lot more clear, and I'm just excited for him to be able to do that. And get to that next phase of independence for his life. So if you have a kiddo with ADHD, or you have ADHD yourself, I highly recommend a high-fat keto or carnivore diet. It has just worked wonders for my son and has changed his life for the better in so many ways. But now I guess it's time for me to go and meet some wellness, one son who loves a social gathering at a time. Bye, everybody.